Where should I start?
Well, first off, thank you for having me. And in case you didn't know, if you're out there, you're listening right now, your ears, and you can't visually see what's going on, he has set up a beautiful podcast studio. It's really well done. And first off, the sense of professionalism, I appreciate it because
Thanks, buddy.
I lack that.
Stop.
And I wish I had it. I wish I had it. 7 years ago, I would be 38. I'm 45 now. I had been trying to be something that I wasn't for a lot of years. Basically, like the village people. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like there's a cop. Is there a firefighter? I was trying to do all these different jobs that I really wasn't suited for. But my upbringing and my dad, my uncles were all cops and firefighters. And I thought that might be the path I would take.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, at 37, right before 38, I fail my second fire academy. Like I go through the whole process. I get hired. I'm in the academy. I don't pass because at some point there's always a moment when they're like, I don't know if this one's, I don't know if we can trust this fella. It's a bit of a wild card. And that's when they take you aside. You're like, hey, you failed me out. Like, and then you lose the job. So yeah, but anyways, it's okay. You live and you learn. It's all good. So that doesn't work out. So I'm working as a night janitor at an elementary school. And like as much as I joked that like it was how depressing it was and how the parents treated me like I was a pedophile. And I'm like, yo, it's just my night job. But they look at you like,
why are you?
what? Yeah, like that guy's a creep, which fair play. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm the night janitor, whatever. But during that time, that's when I'm like, you know what? That's when I experienced my midlife. I mean, for real, like, yeah, we can call it midlife crisis at 37. I'm like, what did I want to be? Funny, an actor, entertain people, TV, all that. And I was like, I'm at rock bottom now, like mop. And we got this thing called an iPhone. And I'm like, I've heard of Instagram. I've never touched social media, and I like turn it on. And I just start pretending but also showing like I'm a night janitor, and it's all strictly night janitor material at the elementary school. And I soon grow like a pretty good following of very loyal followers because every night, Monday through Friday, I post like 20 things. Knowing full well the whole time, like if anyone in the school district sees this, I'm going to get fired. But I'm like, this is also awesome. Yep. Like I would be psyched if I was watching me right now. So that's when I get to 38 and I leave the janitor job. I go back to being a paramedic. And I'm like, yeah, dude, social media is rad. It can be funny whenever I want, say whatever I want, and get an immediate response, which gives me a little dopamine hit. Like, boo, they liked it.
Yep. And they like me.
Or boo, they didn't like it. Delete. So yeah, the next few years, it gets big with surfers. And then that leads to basically being the worst thing, like the thing I made fun of and hated, an influencer. People are like, you're an influencer. I'm like, no, I'm not. What are you talking about? And I make excuses. I'm like, I'm a pitch man. I help sell products.
They're like, that's an influencer.
Yeah, exactly. So I became what I loathed, and it's been really fun, and it's led to like meeting a lot of really neat people. And honestly, I would say this to myself at 38. I would say, yeah, dude, you're like, burn the ships, go for it. Yeah. Follow that instinct, be an idiot on your telephone because that's what you're good at and that's what you like doing. And then just see where it takes you. And that's what I would say. I wouldn't change anything. I would only say, make your circle smaller. You don't have to like say yes to every single thing because my thought always was like, anybody asks you to have a meeting, anything, just, yeah, go see what happens with it. But I'd be smarter about that and be like, maybe don't go hang out with the person who you didn't first kind of do your research on.
Was that hard for you at the beginning to say no to opportunities?
Yeah, because it's fun. It's awesome. Like to go to a business lunch when you've never had a business lunch in your whole life. That's pretty sweet. I wasn't working in that office setting. I'm not in sales. I don't understand how cool it is. I never filed my own taxes where you get to write off a bunch of dumb shit like golf. It's fucking awesome. Excuse my language. Who wouldn't want that? How come no one told me like this is what people do?
Right.
It's really fun. That's great. It's great.
Was was there a fear of if you said no to an opportunity that opportunity would miss and you'd miss out on whatever path could be opened up? No,
I think it's better to like, I say this, find yourself the person you really love that you really want to be with. And you'll kind of be happy no matter what, even on the worst days. So like, I always looked at social media. I never thought about what people would think or say or opportunities I miss out on or get. I was just like, I've already won the lottery because I love my wife. I got healthy kids and life's good. And the world's not going to end if my Instagram page gets deleted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so might as well just be like, yeah, and do it however you want and have fun with it. I'll tell you what, every single time, like in my, like you start to look at your Instagram page as it's like your personal, what would you say? It's like your art piece that you're like, look at me. Like and you start to take it serious. Yeah. Every time I've done that, the quality gets immediately really bad. And everyone's like, we don't like this because it's, you start to take yourself seriously. Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. I mean, that's a super hard thing because with the social media game, I hate social media, but it's hard because there's almost no way around it if you want to offer a digital service, create a digital presence, acquire clients that are not in your immediate orbit. You almost have no choice but to play the game. And I hate the game. I absolutely hate it. Like to the extent where I do what I need to do on Instagram in the morning and then I delete the app from my phone so I don't open it because it's my brain is trained to open that thing up whenever I have a moment of pause or I need that dopamine hit or I want to escape whatever bullshit thing I'm working on and I just need that 5-minute break to unwind and decompress instead of sitting with myself because I don't like to sit with myself. Well, let's go this route first. We'll get to family in a second, but between 7-8 years ago and jumping from the night janitor to just going to full bore in the social media and becoming the influencer extraordinaire that you are with your digital clowning. Yeah. What was the extent of the insecurity or the need for affirmation, attention, affection, or like, was there ever that external pull for that? And is that what made initially it so easy, or did you have that kind of under control and under wraps? And I ask that not to necessarily pry into your mind and your heart at the time, but I know how my mind and heart was several years ago for me, where everything I was trying wasn't working out, was incredibly insecure, looking for every possible means and substance to distract and escape, because I hated not only my present situation, I also hated myself. And so I was looking for every opportunity to distract myself from hanging out with myself. And that led me to be a high achiever, taking on things I should have never taken on, pursuing goals and dreams and ideas that would never pan out, but is a great distraction. And so I'm just curious in that time for you, what was going on in your head? What was going on in your heart? Um, when everything's kind of falling apart and you're just kind of like, fuck it, let's go.
I was like doing serious soul searching
Mm-hmm.
during that time, which I'll just say it. I don't, whatever. We were in a small group together at our church,
Mm-hmm.
which was awesome, which is great. It was wonderful. And that time when I was a janitor, it was like, I'm feeling self-pity,
Mm-hmm.
feeling sad because I didn't achieve what I thought I was supposed to be, and this kept this great job. I lose this great job. I feel terrible. But I started to think, like, questions like, is God real? Is anything I've been taught real? And how hard have I really looked, like, from the other angle? So I started doing that at night, right? Because you're by yourself
Yeah.
for 8 hours cleaning an entire school. And that led to me having a conversation with a pastor from our church
Mm-hmm.
that just left me like going, like questioning
Yeah.
big time everything. And but that being said, that was actually a good thing. Because it was like I'd never done it, almost like I was conditioned not to do that. Because when you're little and you're in the church, it's always, just have faith, just keep a hold on, like da 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 da.
Yeah.
And every time I had a question that was like a common sense question, it'd be like, oh, just listen to the pastor,
Mm-hmm.
brush you off. They didn't want to answer it. And it was like, why? Because it would make me question. Like that would actually help my faith. I think that's
Right.
where, at least back then, they seemed to think like that wasn't a good thing. But it all ended up leading back to God, going from this dark place to like, I was afraid to be funny online and stuff because I was worried what my Christian parents would think.
Mm-hmm.
And when I said a bad word or I did something off color, like basically, I always, like a lot of Christian kids, like we don't cuss around our parents, even as adults. Like you're still, sometimes you might drop the S word with mom now that you're in your 40s. And it's like, cool. You're sick, mom. You didn't get mad. Sick. But, oh, anywho, yeah. All right. I don't even know where I'm going with this.
So as you're searching, you're trying to find these answers. You're trying to, I don't want to say deconstruct because I hate
that word too, but I hate that there's entire podcasts dedicated to it, but it would, I believe, describe.
Yeah.
But I hate that word too.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound pleasant.
Well, for me, it sounds incomplete.
Yeah.
It's
that's good, Matt.
Because the whole purpose of deconstructing something is to put it back together. But too often people come to deconstruction as just full on demolition, and they burn the boats, they blow the thing up and they walk away, friggin' Joker style. And there's nothing left to rebuild. But ultimately what you were doing is you were deconstructing with purpose.
Yeah. I did. And it was, it's kind of confusing and
messy,
exciting and messy all at the same time. But when you're done, like it's a really good thing. You kind of go, okay, wait a second. Now I can look back at things and I can go, why do I believe this? Okay. And your faith then becomes bolder. Maybe for some people it goes a different direction, but that was my experience. Like I just went, okay, yeah, humans are going to human. Like it's all these cliches that I hate. It's just, as you get older, you're like, that's why they say that. It's a pattern. It's like, it's a pattern. Yeah. So,
but you just kept pulling those threads.
I just started to feel like the more I let go of trying to be something I wasn't, the more I felt like this is who God made me, and God loves me, and he's shown incredible grace despite me being a knucklehead time and time again. he's always there. And then I'm sort of like, okay, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and going in the right direction and feeling remorse and feeling true guilt when I sin or do something I shouldn't be doing, I think I'm kind of on the right course here. And I really didn't have to like be anybody besides who I am. I could just lean into my strengths and then start to get to where I wanted to go. Does that make sense?
Dude, absolutely. Because I think the thing that's really hard for the generation of church that we grew up in, it was more behavior modification than soul connection. It was like, do this, don't do that. Act the right way, get rewarded. And that's not necessarily how the divine always operates. I mean, where's if that's the mode that we were left in, then what was the point of the cross? And it doesn't, once you start getting older and those behaviors that you have adopted as natural, when they start to feel unnatural, you start to feel like a piece of shit. What's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? Why is this falling apart? Why isn't it working anymore? And I think it's you can no longer fake it. And that moment is a really shitty moment. Trying to hold it all together, do the right things, say the right things, be the right person. When you don't feel like the right person. And at some point, and I know in my life, it felt like everyone around me knew it. And that was really embarrassing, which drove me deeper down into that behavior modification. Well, I gotta try harder. I gotta do more. I gotta sing louder.
Dude, you're bringing up some memories, bro. Right now, my heart's like, there's like spots. It's like junior high, youth camp, high school. I'm getting it, dude. I like it.
Yeah.
No, everything you just said is what they should say to these young people. Yeah. Like you just said it perfectly. Like that experience, what you just addressed to me is so important. It's like, here's a guy. Yes, he's saved. He had a real experience with Jesus. He came to repent and his life's changed, but he still has patterns of sin that he's stuck in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And no one ever explains to you that that's totally normal.
Right.
That's sadly,
well,
you're a sinful creature, fleshy.
Yeah. And I think the thing that they do is they explain the opposite is now that you've done this, you have to change all these things about you.
Right.
In reality, what I really think it is we are meant to partner with someone until the divine speaks to them. Now's the time to change this. Then we support. Until then, don't change a damn thing about you. Enjoy and dance in that grace until you hear the Spirit speak. Then you become obedient to that step. Until then, don't worry about the changing and the modifying, because what happens so much of the time is we have a 40-year Christian veteran telling a brand new guy,
mm-hmm.
here's how you skip in line. Here's how you live vicariously through all the work that I've done. I'm going to help you get to the front of the line and you not have any solid pain, soul struggle that reinforces that connection and love. It's like, I hate using jiu-jitsu as a metaphor, but I'm going to because I do jiu-jitsu and we're like vegans. We can't stop talking about it. It's like when we're coaching our competition kids, we're always telling them, guys, you have to come to the fundamental classes. You can't just skip ahead to the advanced techniques that we're giving you guys because there's going to be holes in your game. Unfortunately, what we've done in the church is we've created a bunch of Christians with holes in their game. We've helped them skip the line to the advanced techniques without that foundational information, that foundational struggle, that foundational waiting for the Spirit to speak. It's, hey, I know all the technique. I know all the steps ahead of time because I'm 40 years ahead of you. So listen to me. You don't need to do your own journeying. You don't need to do your own waiting. You don't need to even do your own reading. Don't even do your own praying. I have all the answers. And what that's created is guys like us that once we get to the point where stuff's not jiving anymore, it's not that we start looking internal as what's wrong with me. Where am I screwing this up? Instead of, okay, maybe the framework I was given was wrong. Let's correct that and then come back to love.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, yeah, that was good to hear, because I never think about that. I do exactly what you said.
Is
I'm always
that
like,
familiar?
it's me. I don't think about any of the framework, like, to how I got to this. But that's a very good point. I think if I looked at those things, you might not see me for a couple more years, and then we'll discuss what happened. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
And so then what was the time like when, how long was the process from night janitor to paramedic to full-time social media? How long was that process?
So 18, 19, 20, about 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So from night janitor to like quitting my job. Yeah. But it was dope, because I'll tell you this, I'm not like a manifestation guy, but like what I was thinking, like the whole time I was janitoring it up, like for a year, was exactly kind of what I ended up doing, but in a really weird, funny way that I wouldn't have imagined. But like the feelings I had and the things I got to experience were exactly like what I was hoping for. Like, oh, you get to be on a podcast. Oh, you get to work here, meet this person, do that, go here. Like, very, very cool. And, but I'll say this. So if that ever happens to you in your life, just pump your brakes, kid. Just chill and like be a little smarter. Just slow down.
Did you feel like you maybe, looking back, went a little too fast and maybe forced it a little bit?
Brother, going fast is the only way I know. No.
If you ain't first, you're last.
That's it. No, you get caught up in the moment, and it's fun. And like, you should probably be like more business minded or savvy, and, and I don't know. I really need to put like some sort of structure, not only in my day, but in my week and my year and my life. I have no structure, which isn't good for a person like me, but also it's all I ever dreamed of ever.
Right.
And so, yeah, I got to like, you get paid to basically do nothing, except like once a month, you got to do something. And it's awesome, right? It's the best. It's great. But, you should not be thinking it's going to last, maybe you have a plan B, something penciled out for your next step.
Yep.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. It's good times.
So then that 4-year process of going through the jobs and then the social media thing became something that was sustainable enough that you could be like, peace out. I'm out. I'm doing this full time. What was that like for you and your wife? For those conversations, because I know, well, one, I think are a part of the Married Up Club. So much of the times I'm like, dude, why does my wife stick around? I am such an idiot. I forget all the things, all the important things I forget. But she really does bring the best out of me. And I'm like, man, I would want to do this, that, or the other thing. And I'm terrified to bring it up because, one, I don't want her to see my true stupidity. So I got to suppress that a little bit, hide the thought. Like, hey, maybe that's one you don't let out. Maybe that's one you talk to a buddy about instead of your wife. And there's also that part of me that fears she will confirm the insecurity that lives inside of me.
Wow.
And but in the almost 20 years of being together, not once has she ever done that. And so I have no idea why that exists in my head and my heart, but there's that fear that if she sees who I really am, she's going to confirm how I really feel, and she's not going to want to stick around.
She already knows who you really are, dude. Who are we kidding? They know we're all scumbags, dude. They know everything. It's the worst. That's if anyone's like, oh, describe marriage, I would say it's just living with somebody who knows every detail about you. And
that you don't even know.
yeah, and it's horrible. And they yell at you and tell you about your defects. And you're just like, geez, that sounds fun. That's what it is. And there's some real magic mixed in there, but
Yep.
it's mostly the other stuff I said.
So what were those conversations like when, well, was she ever like not on board like at the beginning stages when she's like, when you're first experimenting with this and you're trying to find where the bumper rails are in this process?
No, sadly, I've been a pretty terrible husband. So she was well aware that she knew exactly who I was. She's like, this guy sucks. This dude sucks. Like, we've had some dark times in my marriage, but we're in a good place right now.
Yeah.
As of this recording, things are moving in a great direction.
That's awesome.
Thank you,
dude. That's huge.
Feels good.
Well, dude, you. I think it's super huge because
no, she's the best. She's the best. She's totally supported me and allowed me to be myself. And I mean, it's the greatest thing ever. Like, and I let her be herself, and we just are like, this is so funny that we got married and we do love each other. Yeah, but also, you know, we were kind of faking it there when we were dating. Yeah, putting on
all the good masks.
Oh, such a good actor. The things I did, she thought I was a real gentleman. I tried it.
And now you're like,
yeah, she's the best. And yeah, she was like, we got to get insurance. And I go, yeah, it's going to be weird. Like, how do we do that? I go, I don't know what anyone does that pays for insurance. You have to pay for your own insurance. That was a big one. And then she's been totally patient with me. And I think her thing is like, just be a little more disciplined, you know? Because that's it. I need to be more disciplined.
Was she able to stop her job, or is she still working?
No, she never would.
I feel like my wife's the same way. Like, even if she didn't have to, she'd still want to be doing something.
I shouldn't say that. She would be doing something, but she would be fine also being like at least for once in her life, maybe if things were all lined up, maybe for 2 years. Yeah. She could live like a lady that's, you know, a housewife that just shops and gets massages and stuff.
Has a show on Bravo or something.
I mean, I think that's a good goal to aim for. Just enough money for 2 years. And then we're done with that. Yep. Yeah. I think she'd enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah.
And so was
sorry. All right, go ahead.
Because I know that once we get to be, because you're 5 years older than me, this is like the late 30s, mid 40s is kind of that range where like you start getting the shocking news that couples you thought were impenetrable are getting divorced. We have friends that have gotten divorced, and I'm like, how? Like, we've had such low lows in our marriage. Yeah, it's almost like we got all the shit out of the way early, and so now it's just smooth sailing. Like we've figured out super early on, dude, no storm's gonna take us down. And so I'm not sure why. What from affairs through all kinds of different scenarios, these things have come about from friends that we know. But it's still always shocking because I look at our marriage and I'm like, man, how much worse was it for them? Because I know how bad it was for our low times. I mean, there's a time when a win for the day was me moving from my bed to the couch. That was a win. That's how bad it got at one point for me. That was my only activity for the day, was going from the bed to the couch, and then I sat on the couch, and then I went back to the bed, and then I went back. Like, that was all I did. That was all I could do. I was so jacked up in my head and my heart, I couldn't manage to think about trying to do anything else. She stuck around. She supported. She and she patiently loved me through it. She wasn't like one of those uh women that constantly nagging, reminding you of the piece of shit that you feel like. None of that stuff. Just patience and love. And um, I know for a fact that if it wasn't for her, if she wasn't the one I married, no, I don't think any other woman on this planet would stick around with me. Um, and so in those dark moments that you guys have experienced, because we don't need to get into the details of it, I'm just more curious about what was going on in your head. Was there that fear that you're on the brink of screwing it up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Every day. Every day. Every day. And you do screw it up, but then you sort of find your footing again. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, very much. But it's also kind of fun. I mean, I find it enjoyable. I mean, I'm telling you, anything is better than being in an office, being micromanaged by some guy or gal that just shows up over your shoulder when you're typing and starts talking in your ear. It's the worst thing in the world. So anything's better than that.
Yep.
If it's a little like once a day, you're like, I need money. You know, that's all right. It's better than that situation.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
For sure. So this shift gears a little bit because now I'm curious about there's being a natural people pleaser, an overachiever, maybe a little spectrum-y, who knows? That everyone's a little neurodivergent nowadays. But with the vaccines now being proven that, 1,000%, maybe we all got a little bit of the tism. I have a really hard time because I'm a people pleaser, shifting my personality, shifting my tone, shifting my mannerisms to mirror the people around me. Part of it is I think I didn't start figuring out who I am until probably my mid to late 30s. Up until that point, it was distract, contort my personality and myself into such a way that someone wouldn't find nothing wrong with me, and to help avoid them seeing the real me. Because there's always that fear that they saw the real me, they would not like what they found, and that affection and that attention that I so deeply crave, they would take it away from me. So fake it, pretend, mask, hide. For 30 years of my life, I did that. And so even to this day, I still find it really difficult to, one, know who I am, but then also live in who I am. At what point in this process, if at all, have you began to uncover who you really are? And how is that presented or bleeding into and out of reality and social? And is like, because I gotta imagine there's some fluidity there. There's some like glimpses of this is really me, and there's some glimpses of this is complete opposite. This is just tomfoolery, just straight clowning, nowhere near who I really am. This is just getting a laugh. Where do you typically kind of find yourself in that day to day?
It's my art. I'm a performance artist. Thank you for recognizing that. I said that from the beginning and people laughed. Yeah. I said I'm a performance artist.
And people still take you seriously.
I don't understand it.
You still get
it's like, nothing I'm doing is real. Would you stop, please? I'm just trying to have a good time. But just to your credit, to everything you said, I knew you more than 10 years ago, and you never came across the way you described yourself at that time. I would have never picked up on that, which means you're a very good actor. Or I saw it and I didn't care because I'm like, he's got a good heart. He's a good guy. That's what I remember. So I was like, this guy's dope. Like, this guy's cool. You know what I mean? That's what the first thing I thought when I met you, and continued to. But as far as like all of this stuff, dude, like I've lost my mind before, straight up,
Mm-hmm.
like straight up. And I'm one of the lucky people to have found it and to be like, whatever. In my early 20s, I was like, had a couple experiences that were just so wild and literally lost my mind. And through whatever it is, my parents, prayer, just natural disposition, came back to equilibrium. But once you do that and you go to that place, I actually look back now and I thank God for it, which is crazy because it's literal misery. And at one point, I even wanted to kill myself, you know, like bad. But now I look back and I'm like, once you have that experience and you come out the other side, you understand so much better. I feel like the brain and the life experience, and it makes you more sensitive to other people where you're like, oh, I get it. Like you're about to break from stress or you have something in your family history or you had a reaction to something that you took, some medication. And it's like, you can be sensitive to that. And then you're never really like scared about much going forward because the scariest shit in the world is thinking like, I lost my marbles and they ain't coming back. That's terrifying. And so after that, you're just like smooth sailing and you're just kind of doing what you're doing. And I think that's, I don't know. I think things happen for a reason and it sucks. And it takes years, like at least for me, decades to kind of put the pieces together because you want it to be something that it wasn't. And then you just go, okay, yeah, this is what happened. And here I am. And here's what I learned. And it's a good thing.
Can you think of one catalyst instance that kind of set the trajectory for you to get that back? Is there any one thing that comes to mind or a series of things?
Honestly, it's so the first time was just having the first time that real low and that just kind of not living in reality moment. It was structure and having like, you're going to be here at the same time every day. And then having a purpose and doing that. And the second time, like, but for the grace of God, go I, it was honestly meeting my wife. And like, I was still I probably still am on certain days, not the greatest to be around. But yeah, meeting her like was like, you're never going to go down this road again. And this is end game. Like this is her. And then once you have children, you're like, ooh, buddy,
here we go.
We got to make some decisions like an adult, you know, starting today. And you try to do that as best as you can.
And so meeting your wife, having the kids was kind of like so it was like the trajectory was already set, but that kind of like solidified it of like, this is my path now. I'm whatever I need to do, I'm going to make it happen.
I think that like anything, I mean, I think I can say about my wife, like she's the only person I've really been in love with. I thought I had been in love before. I wasn't. Like the whole deal, like the chemical thing and then getting married, everything. I'm sorry. What was the question again?
No, it's okay.
I forgot.
No,
got distracted by the beauty of my wife. Shout out, Gigi.
Yep. And the thing that was kind of like the saving grace, the thing that kind of pulled you out of the pit, meeting Gigi, having the kids, that kind of put the lid back on that pit.
Yeah. So that's not the whole story because I straight up, like it's God, it's prayer. It's not only my parents praying for me, but also like, I remember being like, I'm not dating girls anymore. I'm done. Like, it's just, I must not be good at it, or it's this, it's that, like, and praying, God, I'm done. But if there is somebody out there, like bring her right to my doorstep and like saying it, like kind of like, what's up, God? Like, yeah, I'm done. Like is there a girl for me? You know, you hear all that stuff when you're growing up in church, like, oh, we're praying for your future wife.
Yeah.
are you really?
All right.
But then 2 days later, I met her and it was like instant. So really God, and by his goodness, his love, like always sort of repairing me at the darkest of dark times, you know, and lifting me up out of it. Like it's always sort of been God.
Were those external things, or was there anything internal that was going on in you?
I've been thinking about this all the time because I've always had a hard time with people. Well, God gave me a word. God spoke to me. God said, and then I'm just like, oh, you're saying it like he showed up like and had lunch with you and told you this. So you're like, what is that? And I think about that all the time. But I think it's like a sense, like I just, this sort of like, not even a sense, like every single day I'm having the same thoughts throughout all these different circumstances, month after month after month, year after year after year after year, to where you're like, well, why am I, and they're good things, you know, like maybe you should do this. They're things like biblical, where you're feeling pulled in certain directions and you can't stop thinking about it. I think that's, at least for me, is the only conclusion I can come to, is like, maybe that's how God sort of steers you what direction he wants you to go.
So it's like an external, internal intuition and a pull towards something.
Intuition's a very good word, and a pull towards something, like a pull towards purpose, whatever that would look like to you. And it usually involves like you intuitively know, like your flesh is like, we don't want to do that, buddy. We don't want to go there. Yeah. Like everything's cool here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just basically just read your Bible. It'll tell you. It's
kind of like a life manual.
And it actually happens. Yeah. It's weird. Yeah.
So then what was the intuition that kind of pulled the first time or second time or any of the times that really kind of, if you can recognize it, what was that intuition that kind of pulled you out of that darkness? Because your wife and the kids was a byproduct of that. But can you recognize, or do you remember if there was an instance or a couple of instances that intuition, whether it forced your hand or you voluntarily went along with it?
Yeah, but both times I would say this. For me, it was like day after day after day of like, still just like, this brain is not operating where it should be. And so I run a lot, like cross country style, go jog, you know, start putting weeks together, and you're sweating and you're losing weight and you're thinking on these long runs and stuff. And I think through exercise, quietness, prayer, like somehow that probably slows your brain down a bit and gives it some time to heal as you're getting in shape and you're quieting down. You start resting at night and getting good sleep. And I feel like that's been the key for me. And the way I got to that point, honestly, is by battling, praying, like not even prayers even making sense at some point. Probably a lot of people around me that were praying for me. And then exercise, and basically like, we got to reset like your entire system, because I honestly feel like so much, whatever you want to call it, mental illness, people having breaks, things like that, that is your body's way of actually trying to protect you, because you are living completely in a life that is not what you're supposed to be doing, that is redlining you, because intuitively your system knows like, you're not built for this, you shouldn't be doing this.
There's nothing you're running from, there's nothing to fight.
And you're stressed the entire time, and then eventually the engine just goes and that's when you have a crack or a break, and then your system has to reset to get back to homeostasis, where you're like, okay, hi, my name's John. I was born to Daryl and Verna. This is what they believed. And they brought you up this way, and you have two sisters, and this was your neighborhood, and here's where you went to school. This is the first time you saw this thing you shouldn't have seen, done that thing you shouldn't have done. And then you spin it forward through your whole history, and you come back and you're like, how are we going to move forward from this point now with the rest of our life, which, we don't know what day we're donezo. So you best get started moving in that direction. And then hopefully by now, when those signs start to show up that are going to put you in a place where you're going to redline it again, you stop and you go, oh, don't go down that road.
Yep.
You don't go.
So I think of like fasting is for the body, silence is the same thing for the mind. And it is one of the hardest disciplines I've tried to integrate because I love distraction. I am not a fan of silence because for 30 plus years of my life, I had trained my brain to operate in chaos. Because I don't want to be around me. I know what I've done. I know what I've chosen to indulge in. I know all the secrets. I know where all the skeletons are at. And I don't want to hang out with that guy. And so don't be silent. Don't be still. Keep moving. Keep performing. And that's what ended up breaking me and started the panic attacks and all that stuff for me, is because I was redlining for years and years and years and years. And the silence and stillness aspect, is that a part of, was that part of a healing process, or is it part of your like daily, or not daily, but like part of a maintenance routine for you?
No, I think it was fully like nature's way of healing, like just intuitively. Like you have smoked your engine, dude.
Like it forced you to be silent and still.
You need to breathe. You need to get fit. You need to slow down. You need to reassess, like almost, yeah. Or I don't know if we're hardwired that way or what, or if that's just God's answered prayers. I have no idea. But yeah, I think you just, at least for me, yeah, it was like intuitively, but that's after like going to jail, you know what I mean? Like the worst, like just worst day of your life type of thing, where you're just going like rock bottom moments. And it's different for everybody. It could be whatever. Everyone's rock bottom could be different, but I'm astonished when I start to feel low. Like this past December was just crazy for some reason. I was just like, what is going on? Just the blues. Is, if you've been there before in that dark place, like I just would tell myself, the sun will rise again, the sun will rise again. And I know that because I've experienced it, where you're so depressed and then one day it's like the sun came out and you're like, oh fuck yeah, you jump up and you high five nobody, just the air, because you're back. You're like and so that's gonna happen. It just sucks because sometimes you're like, it's gonna be 6 months, it's gonna be 10 months, it's gonna be a year and a half, it's gonna be 2 years.
The thing that sucks is that you don't know when it's gonna let you up.
Right.
And I love, a buddy of mine described when I was having panic attacks. He's like, dude, because he was going through the same thing, but like a couple years ahead of me. And he goes, dude, surfing analogy. He goes, when you eat it on a large day, you're gonna get held under. Do you panic and freak out and try to force yourself to the top, or do you just relax, let it pass, and then it'll eventually let you up? The more you fight it, the worse it's gonna be. So he's like, you just gotta relax. You gotta let it pass. Don't try to control it. Don't try to force it. Just let it be. It will let you up. But when you're in the middle of the shit and it's pitch black around you and there's no way out, there's no hope, you have people depending on you, you start feeling incapable as a man.
Yep.
You feel like a failure as a person. You're embarrassed at yourself. And you're like, I just want to fucking breathe.
Totally. I'm with you 100%. And you said something earlier, which I think is key in those moments. It's don't stay silent. Like, you got to talk to somebody and just lay it all out there and be like, I need a lifeline here, and just throw it out with reckless abandon, because this is your shot to let the people that love you around you know what you're actually experiencing, and then they're able to take on what's happening to you as a collective team and help you get back to where you need to be. You do not stay silent. Like, I know it's hard when you're feeling whatever, but like, that is like the manliest thing you could do, is just be like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I think it's all about to end. I'm a failure. I'm a pussy. Like, that's the coolest thing you could say, hands down. Because that's the truth. And like, if you just always follow the truth.
Yeah.
It's amazing how easily we get off that path from distractions. But that's the truth.
Why is the honesty so hard?
I don't know. It's really fun. It's really freeing. It's really rad.
It is.
I found it to be it's not for everyone. I'll tell you that. People do pull back. But I love it. If somebody, like, within the first 30 seconds just tells me something personal, I'm like, we're going to be good. You're ridiculous. You don't do that. You crazy. You keep that to yourself. What are you doing? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So do you think that the reason that things got so dark and bad for you is because you waited way too long to throw out those lifelines?
No, I want to reverse back to, I want to be clear. I think these things happen because I wasn't living the way I was supposed to be living, meaning not so much like sin type stuff, but like you're pursuing careers that you're not cut out for and pretending to be interested in them because you think that's what you're supposed to do, or you're going to college because that's what you thought you're supposed to do. You're pretending this entire time, when your real interests and the real things you're passionate about are over here, and you're afraid to pursue them because you think you'll fail. So you're just going through the motions, and then eventually, being that basically fake version of yourself, you start to redline, and it's like you're not being yourself. Like, literally, you're pretending to be something else, and then eventually, I think it just can lead to bad places.
What came first, the direction to jump, or the fearlessness to jump?
That's a good question.
Was it just like, you're like,
I think both at the same time. Like,
jump any direction.
You've tried so hard in so many different directions and failed at every single turn that you're like, wait, who am I actually? What am I actually interested in? Where do my strengths lie? What are my weaknesses? What would I be best at? What do I have an aptitude for? What interests me? What cannot stop thinking about all the time? And then for me, I was just like, you know what that is? You're a song and dance man. You were in High School Musical Theater. Get out there and dance for the people. And so that's what you do. You know what I mean? Like, this is a great podcast, by the way. I know I will be listening, perhaps the only one, but I'm listening to the entire thing because this is awesome.
Our moms are going to listen too. Yeah, let's be honest.
That's true. That's true. Mom will listen.
Yep.
She'll give it a listen.
Yep. They always do.
They do.
So did you always kind of know, so when the direction changed by force and by necessity, how easy was it for you to go back and recognize those things in yourself that you actually did enjoy? Like, were those things hidden because you piled up so much shit on top of them over the years, or?
Yeah, they were calculated, like, would come out like at karaoke and things like that, like appropriate settings to be an asshole, essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you lock it down deep, but you're with certain friends that you've known since you were 14. And so you act up and they laugh and everyone's like, yay. Yeah, that's pretty much my story. It's good stuff.
It's the best.
It's good stuff. I've been very jokey during this, but I want to be clear. I was mopping one night in the third grade classroom,
Mm-hmm.
and I was doing my usual routine, and I looked up, and there's things on the walls, as there are in children's classrooms. And this is what one of them said. And it was actually very profound for me. It said, dream big, love all, and act now. And I would see it every night. And I started to be like, that's a good, I'm like, okay, are you dreaming big? And I was like, no, dream bigger, dream bigger. Like, what would you
Mm-hmm.
do if anything was possible and didn't have these self doubts? Like, what? Just start thinking like that. And then I was like, okay, love all. Like, yeah, I got it. Golden rule. Like, love everybody. Like, do your best to do that. But then the act now part, I was like,
Nah.
oh, that's the story of my life. Like, all these great ideas, things I see now all over YouTube. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you had this idea 20 years ago,
Yep.
you know, and you're like, I should have done this, I should have done that, and blah, blah, blah. You could have, and you can right now.
Mm-hmm.
You must simply put one foot in front of the other,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just start taking baby steps towards
Yeah.
your goal. And it's really, really funny, like what happens once you start doing that.
It's yeah,
great.
because it's like what Rick Rubin talks about in his book of like there's that muse, the source, where all the different terms he uses to describe it, even the divine at one point, where it's like, I have this thing that I need out in the world. I'm choosing to allow you to be a part of it. But then sometimes we get cold feet, we don't think we're capable, whatever. And he's like, this needs to be birthed in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to be the one who births it. Are you going to be willing to do it? And you're like, I don't know. It's going to get birthed one way or the other. It's just a matter if we're going to be involved in it or not. If we're going to be a part of it, are we going to be there holding the flashlight for dad? Or, you know, what is going to be our role in it? It needs to come out. And I know that feeling of like, you have an idea, you can almost see the step from ideation to completion. You can almost, but there's just something in you that's saying, or I don't know if it's, and
That's
then it goes away. And then all of a sudden you see it and you're like, and then you remember, I was sitting here. I thought like it comes flooding back, and there's that, I don't necessarily want to say it's guilt. It's definitely remorse. You know what? It's I think it's more akin to grief, because it's almost like you allowed an idea and a dream to die only to see it be birthed in someone else.
Ugh, that's not good.
And that sucks.
No. But that whole prompting is such like, I meet so many people. I'm like, what do you think about all the time? Like, what's the thing every day you're thinking about? Like, I want to do this. I want to do this. Like, what is that? And everybody has something. And then you start talking to them, and then they start telling you excuses why they couldn't do it. And you're like, oh, they could totally do this. That's what you're thinking. It's just, I think that voice, that is your purpose. That is why you are here on earth. Like you have to follow that. Like, don't not follow that. That's who you are. That's why you're still thinking about it in your 40s. It's the same thing you were thinking about when you were 15. There's this like ever present thing, especially if you're a believer, where you're feeling like, I should be doing this. God wants me to go this way. But then you have all these excuses, and you really are sort of like, well, what do I really believe here? That's when you start to like go, what am I? Like, I'm the most lukewarm of the lukewarm here. That's what I am. And yeah, I mean, if I think about it too much, and we've talked about it, there's always, at least for me, I have an underlying sense of like, you should be doing this thing with your life right now. And I've made excuses for a decade of like, I don't, why these thoughts keep coming back? Why do these circumstances happen where you're here and you see this thing and it all sort of points to like, go do that. Because like I said earlier, it's really something I like try to I know I'm not like super tough, but I also know I'm not like a total wuss. I'm like right in the middle. Like I can tolerate some pain, like more than, the
Yeah.
average person. I think you should follow that. That's the point. I'm headed more that direction,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't fully leaned in. I'm like 12% like
Yeah.
on my way to this thing.
Mm-hmm. What's the reservation?
That's what I was gonna say. The thing about thinking I'm tough or whatever, like when I really break it down, it's fear, and like people won't like me as much.
Mm-hmm.
Like really juvenile thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
like people just won't like you quite as much if you come out and say that and proclaim that like you're, you know. And so yeah, that's I don't like that about myself. I'm still like going, that's dumb. Yeah, you shouldn't care what people think, you know. I don't like that about myself. And I found I really need approval from people, which is really like that's not a good look the older you get, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on it. Working hard on it. Just let it be known.
What is the fear with that? Because I know where my fear lies in that when I allow it out.
I'll just whatever. Like I'll tell you. I've said it before. I sometimes feel like the call to be an evangelist,
Mm-hmm.
which is so like just saying it. I'm like, it actually felt good to say.
So you're doing the reverse Sam Kinison thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's exactly. Yes, very good. Yep. I went instead of being a preacher first and then comedy, then maybe a preacher.
Yep.
So yeah, it all happened like last summer. There was a layover in North Carolina and I was in a town I wasn't supposed to be in. And it was like the airport, you guys can't get a flight for like a day and a half. So we went to this scummy motel.
Mm-hmm.
My wife wasn't happy. And she was like, I'm not staying in this place like during the day. And I'm like, what can we do around here? And there was the Billy Graham Museum where the house he grew up is at and where him and his wife are buried. So we went there and I read into it a little too much. I'm like, how could I be here any other way than this act of God with this weather and this layover? And I was walking around, I was looking at Billy and I was like, Billy looked good, dude. He was up there. Just getting after it. And I was like, I could see myself doing this. So I got a shot behind his pulpit. Yeah. But all joking aside, yeah, I was kind of like, where's that guy? And then I was like, yeah, the thoughts have been there for a long time since I was small. I remember being probably my like 20, not that small, 24, and being like just seen myself like speaking to thousands of people very clearly. And telling my mom about it. So I don't know. I should probably go explore that and lean into that because I have found everything that social media has to offer and I'm good. It's fun. It was a good run. It was a good run while it lasted.
Yep.
And now I'm like, you got to do live your little comedy dream and it's been a fantastic journey, but what do you want to do? Because you're going to be 65 like this in 20 years. So, yeah. That's where I'm at, Matthew.
So then what's the big hesitation or reservation from that being the next jump?
Mostly a lot of things I've said on podcasts and done on video, things like that. Just them appearing as I'm now doing something completely different. And they're like, wait a second.
Aren't you that guy?
I say this and then they show a clip of me like, on a podcast, that's kind of probably the biggest hang up. Yeah. I'll get past it. What are you going to do?
Yep.
I'll just be like, that's the spot I was in my life.
Yeah.
Sorry. Now I'm here.
I said we should follow Jesus. I didn't say I am him.
Oh my gosh, dude. Dude, what I love though, I'm gonna tell you this. It's so rad right now. Like I'm big on revival. Like I don't know why. I love the word. I love the idea. I've been into it for like probably 15 years reading books about the different revivals and how it starts and how it spreads. Right now, there's so many people that I never, ever would have liked if we were betting, like, who's going to be reading their Bible and talking about Jesus? They would not be on it. Like
Right.
big celebrities, big famous people.
Something's happening.
Yeah. And then a lot of the young people, man, they're just like, yeah, all the woke crazy stuff. Like, yeah, we kind of reject that. And I think we're going to, try to live better lives, maybe become Christians, get married younger.
Maybe there's something to that.
Yeah, maybe there's something to that. And it's amazing that we're living through that right now. I think it's a time where something really, really big can happen. And I'd like to be a part of it. I think you would too. I mean, in whatever way, but it just, yeah, that's really where it's at, folks. You get older and you're like, oh my goodness. Family, very important. A belief structure, which I happen to be a Christian, and I believe Jesus was the Son of God and died for my sins, and that I'm totally flawed and screwed up. And I've found that to be factual based on the years I've lived. Very fleshy. And so now it's like, yeah, man, you see patterns and you go, there's a better way to live. And God actually did have a plan for us. And these instructions that I thought were just, oh, I can pick and choose this and that. It doesn't work that way. So, and that he had my best interest in mind. So, yeah.
The thought I had earlier today, and I was trying to wrap my head around it, as to what the reality of this thought could be. I was trying to think of, like, because several years ago I wrote a book, and one of the things that I say in there is it wasn't the nails that held Jesus on the cross. It wasn't the Jews that crucified him. He went willingly because he saw me in all of me and said, worth it. And the thought I had today was what did he die for? The potential of me, the lost potential of me. And then the thing that came to my mind was something that came to me a while ago was yes and.
That's improv. Yes and. That's like the first rule of improv.
That is the way of the divine that I've come to realize and recognize is not, there's not an either or. He deals in abundance. He deals in grace upon grace upon grace upon grace. He deals in the things of, yeah, you're loved and also this. Yes, you're forgiven and also this. And the thought I was having today was, yes, it was for the lost, me and my lost potential, me and my actual unrealized potential. But more than that, it was me. And I couldn't accept it, because even presently, I still feel like I need to earn it. And I mean, it goes back to that framework we've been given of the behavior modification, the do's and don'ts, all the different ways that in the best of intentions, the the most Christians of the 90s, that was the pinnacle of Christendom.
Down with the DC talk. What? Down with the DC talk.
We're the youth of a nation, man.
We are. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Oh, because of those frameworks and because of the behavior modification, it's really hard to just accept that there's nothing I need to do. There's nothing that I have to accomplish. There's nothing I have to achieve.
Nah, you don't.
But it's so hard.
Right. Well, this is what I like. This is what, honestly, if you're like me and like you're just an overthinker, this is one that's really helped me. It's that everything is going to happen just right on God's time. And he was just cooking you, preparing you for whatever he's got coming for you. That helps me deal with a lot of those, like, you should have done this, you should have done that. Is your potential realized? I'm always like eternally optimistic. Like, I have not even begun to show my potential. Right.
Yeah.
And I hope I do that till the day I die. Like, that's what, keeps you going forward. But thinking about, like, yeah, had I got what I wanted now when I was in my 20s, I would have self-destructed. It's clear as day. You see all these, had this happened, what I wanted so bad, didn't turn out the way I wanted it, you'd be dead. Like, you know what I mean? You just
it's kind of like when fame hits someone young or wealth hits someone young. There's kind of,
it could be anything, but like maybe even whatever, say it's your purpose that you feel so alive about, and it's your job and you don't make that much money. It doesn't have to be fame or fortune, but it could be that. And God was just prepping you and building you up to that moment. And now you love your life because dude, that stinking word. That's why Rick Warren made all that money. Purpose-driven life. It's a great title. Purpose. People love it. People need it. So yeah, man, I love thinking about that. Like, no, God's got you right. Like, he's got us talking here right now. The way we've communicated back and forth, the timing's right, the this, the that. I mean, when I read the Bible, I believe that's what he wants me to be thinking like, yes, I love you. I have what's best for you. I'm going to correct you when you need to be corrected, but you're right in the right place, man. Yeah, you screwed up a lot. Okay, let's get going. But I need people. I need bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's not necessarily picky about who shows up.
No. Okay. So this is my favorite thing lately. Again, I'm the classic, like, grew up, like, never read my Bible, always had the Bible at church, like, just to check. Got it.
I highlighted.
Yeah. Might pop it open there were some highlights for sure from summer camp.
Oh yeah. Because she was sitting next to you.
Dude, I keep getting sidetracked. What was I talking about? My brain's dead. I have a dead brain. I'm sorry. Very old. I lied. I'm 57 and a half. I turned 58 in September. All right? You got me.
The truth's out.
The truth's out. A lot of head injuries as a kid, too. This is pre-helmet. Just FYI. Latchkey kid, no helmets. No seatbelts at the beginning, too. They never talk about that when you were like 6 months, your dad hit the brakes.
Dude, I remember being like 9 years old, laying in the bed of the pickup truck, holding the groceries down. So they wouldn't fall out.
That's epic.
Yeah.
That's your one job.
Yeah, just make sure the groceries don't fly out.
Good. Now, what was I talking about?
I don't even remember.
Darn it.
That's okay.
It's all right.
So then, of all the things that you have come to realize, appreciate, those all the things that give you health, that make you whole, what would you say is a good place to start? For example, one of the things that I typically almost lead with whenever I do spiritual direction with clients, or am doing some of the stuff that I do, the only platform we jump from is begin by being honest. That's, if we can start there, if we can do that, we're going to be good. Whether it takes us a single session or 6 years of sessions, if we can be honest, then we can do some good work. Then we can get through some stuff. Similar to that, what have you found in your life, in your marriage, in your profession, in your dadding?
Radical honesty, like you said, I think is unparalleled, like heavyweight champion of all time. Just because it's the truth and it wins. Like, anytime I'm trying to hide things or hold things back from my wife, it backfires literally 100% of the time. It's just a matter of when. It's going to come out eventually. And by being honest, here's where I struggle. Here's where I need you to help me. This is who I am. This is what I did. Like, if she asks you something and you're like, I could really lie to her right here and it would avoid something. Don't. Just
Get into it.
Just say it and just enjoy what happens for the next potential daylight time when the sun's up. Hey. But yeah, that's what I think, because it's really kind of the only way we grow. And I think with a partner, your wife, like, that's one of the reasons I was supposed to be with her. She's like, call you on your BS and be like, you're blowing it. It's not happening. You're not doing that. Stop it. You know, and I will listen. Like, oh, okay. But
because she's able to see and get right to the deepest part of it.
Totally. And I'll try to push that limit as far as I can. And that's how that conversation ends up happening in the first place.
It usually starts off loving and patient and then becomes, hey, dummy.
Yeah. And repeat this by 17 years. That's my marriage. Does it sound familiar?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Well, men and women, huh?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? But yeah, just be totally honest, because it all comes out eventually. And it's actually better. Like, I love that my wife still loves me, even though she knows what a terrible person I am. That's really cool. And it makes me feel actually loved.
Do you think that's really the only way to actually experience love?
I think so. I think that's the key to, like, when you're going to marry somebody, you'll inevitably meet an older couple and they'll be like, hey, it just keeps getting better and better.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like,
whatever.
The first couple of years, you're like, that can't be true. But like you spoke of, you've been through so many different things with your spouse, and eventually it just grows this bond. And then you bring children perhaps into the mix, and that shared life experience, trials up and down, your parents getting older, losing your parents, losing jobs, having money, not having money, you know, all of it. You just are like, yeah, you're my ride or die. This is,
mm-hmm.
And it does. But I think this is personally, anytime things are screwed up, it is because I am being so incredibly selfish, thinking only of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that when it's brought to my attention that that's what I'm doing, I will deny it and deny it.
No, no, we don't.
Cannot
no,
be true.
No,
I'm going golfing. How dare you accuse me of that? And then you're out the door. You know what I mean? So that's it, dude. Like, you got to be honest. And yeah, when, like, my marriage is like the worst places ever, it was because I was like, it's me time for the year. You know, don't do that. Don't go down that road.
Yep.
Powerful. It's been powerful. I think the people have learned a lot. Make good choices, kids. That's what I would say. And marry for money. That's 1 and 2. Very important.
Yes. Or hotness.
Or hotness.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't get both.
It's true. Boy, is that true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still banking on that rich uncle no one knew about.
Dude, that's what. Yes.
That's my retirement plan.
So good, dude.
Yeah.
The old oil baron. He was just hiding this whole time.
And for whatever reason, I was his favorite nephew, and I never met him.
Whoops.
Huh?
He put everything he was leaving in the wrong safety deposit box, and they just found it in 2025. That would be amazing. That'd be cool if that happened.
John, any other parting wisdom that you'd like to share?
Yeah. Let people have different opinions and views than your own, and don't judge them. You know, just sit and listen, and then you can say what you believe, and so forth, and just continue to do that. And things will get along, you know, for everyone much better. Yeah. That's what I would suggest. You know, given our current political climate, people have been acting out.
Yeah.
And I frankly am tired of it. So I'm just saying, simmer down a little bit,
there
everybody.
Needs to be an adult in the room.
Pump your brakes and just have a barbecue together or something. You bring a plate, they'll bring a plate. You'll break bread. All will be well. That is all I want to say. And I really enjoyed this. This was fun.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out. and giving me a little glimpse as to, a couple years down the road, you being a few years ahead of me in the journey, not just in age, but in the journey and experience, because our experiences align pretty darn close in not only the experience, but the things that were happening inside of us during those experiences. And so to see basically into my future a little bit gives me a little bit of hope, gives me a little bit of confidence that, hey kid, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You're good. Mm-hmm. One of the hardest things that I'm still trying to accept and learn that my spiritual director always tells me is, Matt, there's nothing wrong with you. And I wish I learned that as a child, because I've spent 40 years trying to undo that shit. Mm. And it's made it incredibly difficult to trust when the divine says, I love you, that he means it, and there's nothing I have to do for it. So with that, thank you, buddy.
Jay, you're so welcome. Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
I want to ask you before I leave. Do you think if in 5 years from now, there was some sort of person that came on to the scene who was just stomping all the megachurch pastors with their preachers and sneakers and their Rolexes, he appeared like a fury, like a furious wind and fire, just all across all our glorious states. He was on the airwaves and everyone was like, what is going on? All the megachurch pastors with their creepy pedophile glasses are running for the hills. There's a new preacher in town. It's John Wayne Freeman. And lo, here he comes. This real revival. Do you think that is too grandiose? And does that make me selfish to want to pursue that? Because if really what I'm doing is sharing the gospel and people are getting saved, well, isn't that the most important job in the world, considering this is temporary and there's eternity? So if I'm the person that's up there, slinging it, isn't that a good way to live? Or am I being like, is it too self-centered? This wanting the glory and the fame and the eventual downfall and shame.
And having to auction off my private jet.
And it will be a redhead. Someone can look this up. It's going to happen. And again, nature, that's what it is. I'm just saying, should I go down this road or not?
Yes.
Okay. I think so too. Thank you. Thank you.
Without question.
That means a lot. Thank you.
I think there are many people that the only, I almost said that one, you remember the phrase. And as soon as I say it, you're like, oh, you're gonna roll your eyes because you remember it. There was that whole, in the early 2000s, just before the 2010s, where the big motto was, you might be the only Jesus someone meets.
Yeah. I do remember that.
Yeah.
You're like, my name's John. How would that be possible? Why would they think my name was Jesus? I remember that.
So there are many people that the only way they would ever come to recognize, see, accept, and live in the love of the divine is because of a word you say or an action that you take.
Oof. It's a lot of pressure, but you're right. A moment. It could just be a moment. For sure. And saying to somebody, for instance, like, you have worth, you matter, this too shall pass. Here's my number. You can call me. You can talk to me. It's not weird. Like, it's all good.
Yep.
And letting them know, I think that's very important too, is people that are really, really hurting want to know that somebody that is there, that they can trust them. And so don't ever screw that relationship up. Try not to. Do your best not to. And keep their stuff private, everything they say, and just be there and be their rock while they need you.
Yeah. I think you just got to be willing to be inconvenienced. Because I think so much of the time we're trying to get from point A to point B that we forget all that space in between.
Mm-hmm.
and all the people in between, and all the interruptions in between, and all the silence in between, and all the whispers in between. Um, and it's in those, it's in the in between that I think the divine's really wanting to work with us. He's inviting us to work with him. Um, and because I'm a perpetual distractor and overscheduler and thinking I'm way more capable of accomplishing the things that I'm actually capable of doing in the time I think I can do it in, um, the mind is always busy, which means that I can very easily go without hearing the still small voice that's inviting me to be a part of what's going on. And the struggle for me lately has been the silence is practice, stillness is practice. Because sometimes I wake up, kids are up before me. I need coffee. I need to get on my computer. I need to start work. I need whatever it might be. Um, but that shit can wait. I think we need to just make sure we're checking in with dad.
Mm-hmm. I think that's very, like, the theme throughout the day should be checking in with dad. This continual kind of, like, not totally crazy continual, but, within reason, where you're talking to God throughout the day,
Mm-hmm.
just being mindful of, like, all right, yeah, well, I kind of blew it there, like with the waiter. I probably was kind of a jerk or whatever, trying to sort yourself out throughout the day and
Mm-hmm.
being aware of it. I think that's super important. Yeah, but like you said, so easy to get distracted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's like a word for our time. It's distraction.
Yep.
24/7. So we all gotta try to work on it. We do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
No, thank you.